Avengers assemble, baby!
You are such a nerd.
It's always interesting to see a relatively dormant franchise, I resisted the urge to turn dormant into a Dormammu pun there, brought back to life. Do you reinvent it? Do you change it? Or do you just give people more of what they liked in the first place? Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 takes a pretty clear stance on that. It's more Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and in an era where superheroes have never been more relevant in the pop culture consciousness, honestly, that's pretty darn welcome. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is a big, dumb comic book game in the very best way imaginable. It must be said, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, I would abbreviate that to MUA 3 or MUA 3, but both of those sound gross and I don't really want to attack your ears. Isn't really a great game in any way. While the story is tremendous fun, it will never challenge you and it doesn't have much interesting to say about the cavalcade of characters it unloads. While the gameplay is enjoyable hack and slash button mashing combat, it's not some super deep, ever-evolving system. You'll more or less play the game exactly the same in the first hour as the last. That said, the Marvel coat of paint is so lovingly applied that it carries the entire experience. Smashing hordes of enemies as your favourite Marvel heroes from across the comics is so thoroughly enjoyable that the rest just falls away. The character roster is the true star of Ultimate Alliance 3. It draws deep from the comics, not weighed down by concerns of film universes or licensing. As a result, you can compose teams from the X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, Inhumans, the Avengers, the Spider-Verse and more. As somebody who consumes comic book characters entirely through movie, TV and games, I know, I'm a fake fan. It's nice to be exposed to characters I've heard of but not seen much of, like Miss Marvel, as well as characters I've just flat out never heard of, like Crystal and Elsa Bloodstone too. The game rewards you for combining like-minded characters, obvious ones like the Defenders or Avengers, but also more obscure combinations like wisecracking warriors or martial artists, so you're never too stuck into picking certain characters. But combining and experimenting with your favourite heroes is the highlight of the game. Running around with your squad of Captain America, Captain Marvel, Luke Cage and Falcon, while destroying all of Ultron's evil suits of armour is a delight. The combat in the game is pretty simple. Every character has basic light and heavy attacks, plus 4 special attacks that unlock as you level up. Throughout the game you power up those special attacks rather than unlocking more than your base 4. You can use those special attacks by yourself, or you can combine them into combination synergy attacks as 2 characters work together. You also build up your extreme meter to unleash huge damage. Those can also be stacked together, so all 4 of your characters can unleash their extreme attacks, their extreme ultimate alliance super duper mega attacks all at once. I think I did 6 million damage once. That's how much damage these things can rack up. You'll blitz through basic enemies no bother, but stronger foes and bosses have stagger meters, which you must whittle down and then stun. And that's it. That's the game. Bar some honestly irksome puzzling shoved in here and there, that's what you'll be doing for your entire Ultimate Alliance experience. And for the most part, that's fine. There are a few bosses that grow tiresomely long, and certain levels where the regular gameplay balance doesn't feel quite right from pacing perspective, but it remains fun throughout. The difficulty spikes for boss battles do make it harder to constantly shift your team around. For the first quarter or so of this game, I enjoyed swapping out my characters at every shield point. It was fun messing around with every different hero. However, while that's generally fine through the main levels, it becomes unsustainable during the much more difficult boss fights. It's kind of a bummer that the game wasn't balanced to allow for making the most of the 36-person roster. That is less of a concern on the lower difficulty though. If you're more interested in bouncing between characters, you can do so pretty freely there. I did eventually settle into my team of Thor, Storm, Miles Morales and Deadpool, but constantly jumbling them around to mix and match combinations created some nice variety. There are a couple of systems on top of all of that. There is a whole skill tree called Alliance Enhancement, which is a huge, sprawling series of unlockable stat upgrades, as well as the equipable ISO 8 crystals that offer similar improvements. All this feels a little intangible though. The only noticeable change it has on gameplay is the numbers get bigger. It's probably perfect for stat nerds who want to maximize their character builds, but for the most part, it invisibly operates in the background. While there is eventually a layer to the story introduced about Thanos and the Black Order chasing your ragtag alliance across the Marvel Universe in search of Infinity Stones, having similar beats to the plots of Infinity War and Endgame of course. It is mostly a vehicle to introduce character after character. Seriously, this game keeps introducing new characters long into the game, and it's the real thrill. All the characters are fully voiced with dialogue and quips, so seeing all these iconic characters come together and interact in cutscenes propels the whole story along. Iron Man setting up Ms. Marvel to say the Avengers Assemble line is charming as heck. The game takes you across landmark Marvel locations, and some are better than others. Places like Wakanda, the Xavier Institute, and Asgard feel like vibrant, colourful worlds, while basically anything set in a building or a spaceship feels like bland corridors. If you finish the story and want more, there are a series of Infinity Trials to pour more time into. They offer one-off challenges with different gameplay rules that up the challenge from the main campaign. They also offer 4 extra characters to unlock, as well as alternate outfits. Those outfits, however, are pretty darn lame. This Hawkeye one, for example, barely even counts as a different colour scheme. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 injects fan service straight into your veins. Every layer, every environment, every line of dialogue, every story beat nods to one of your favourite superhero characters. What would this game be without the Marvel exterior? Hard to say. As it is though, Ultimate Alliance is a good single player game and an even better multiplayer one. It has its flaws here and there, but the game is a big, silly celebration of Marvel. And while not the deepest experience imaginable, it's more than enough to keep you entertained through its story mode and beyond. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 The Black Order gets 7.75 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. That is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I really hope they keep making these games because they're just fun games. They're not the game of the year, best games of all time. But you sit down and you play through these fun Marvel worlds and they're just fun. And I hope they keep making them. One of these every 3 years would go down a treat. You can follow me on Twitter at GarrettKidneyGA or ETTKIDNEY. If you enjoyed this review, please, hit like, subscribe, share it with your friends. That would be cool. On your left, a review of Super Mario Maker 2. On your right, me saying goodbye to Splatoon the only way I know how, by being bad at the game. Thanks for watching.